Hello guys, my name is Fireguy and welcome to Hot Fire. So thank you guys all for the premiere episode that happened last week. I got lots of views. One thing that lacked was a bit of the comment section. My goal was to create discussion, and not too much discussion was made. So hopefully in the future stuff gets there's more discussion that gets created based off of these audio columns. So, funny story before we get right into this, guys. I decided to change the way I take my notes. My notes were not at all effective, as you guys saw from last episode. Also didn't help that I was sick, and still am sick now. But anyways, I changed them up, went from paper to computer, and I did them in a different format too, to make it easier to to communicate to you guys, I guess you would say. And funny story, looks like they didn't want me to use the computer. Halfway in to the episode, like past the Trevor Lee versus Braxton Sutter match, the power went out and the document didn't save. So yeah, I have no notes, guys. You guys know we all have busy lives. I don't have time to rewatch basically 3/4 of the show. So basically what I'm going to be doing today. So don't be surprised if the episode is shorter this week. Just because I don't have no notes, so I'm going to be going off of not memory. I kind of have a few notes that I wrote down before, memorized, and went through. I didn't go for the matches, but took it off of other online stuff like reviews, not reviews, but like play-by-plays or whatever you want to call them. So yeah, we'll go with what we have today, guys. I apologize. Last week was not a great debut episode. I was sick. This episode, power outage. it's like they're throwing every obstacle at me, you know. But anyways, we'll start it off right away. Hot Fire, the Impact Wrestling episode that aired last night, June 15th, 2017. The second episode from Mumbai, India, film stage 7, I think it's where they're at. So yeah, we start off with a very, very good opening video of Sanjay Dutt versus Loki in the X Division. It was very, very well done. It showed Sanjay Dutt's rise to the top, trying to make it and trying to get that title, but not being able to get the X Division title for 15 years. And then cutting to Loki, who's been absolutely destroying the X Division lately, after winning that multi-man match for the title. And from there, it was just a very, very good openings video. I'm gonna say on the same quality as last week. It's not the exact same video. It's the same exact quality as last week. It was very, very good. And these videos like that are gonna keep the people's attention, at least for the first minute or so, and they'll actually start watching the show. So the show starts right off, guys, with a Sony 6 Invitational Gauntlet Battle Royale. So this is basically just to promote Sony 6, their partnership with them, Impact's partnership with Sony 6 over in India. They're the ones that run Impact on their TV channel. They air it and stuff like that. It's a TV channel. And this is going to be for a trophy. So I don't know, guys. Yeah, it's more so a gimmick just to promote Sony 6 and to make it feel like a big deal. But at the end of the day, this cup is it's not gonna get many people many places. But anyways, there's 10 people in this match, and Suicide and Matt Sydal started right off. Mostly lots of taunting. Nothing much happened after that. There was a pretty equal back and forth moves between Suicide and Matt Sydal. And then Davey Richards is in at number 3. So Davey clears house, obviously, taking out Suicide and Matt Sydal. And then KM is in at number 4. And I was really excited when KM came out. I completely forgot. I follow Impact on social media. I just forgot that he was on the graphic for the Sony 6 Gauntlet. So it was a surprise seeing him, and I was excited because KM has been so underutilized in the ring. We've got tons of segments, but he just hasn't wrestled. So it was cool seeing him. Yes, finally KM in a match. I was excited for that. But anyways, he comes in And the heels, so Davey Richards and Cam, decide to team up to take on Matt Sydal and Suicide and basically just destroy them. Basically, they destroy the faces. And Swoggle is in at number 5, and Swoggle tries to chop down Davey Richards and Cam. Obviously, doesn't work. You know, he's a small dude. He can't do that. And then Cam and Davey just absolutely just shove him down and destroy him, kick him, everything. And then did I miss something? No, I didn't. Wait, did I? I don't think I did. Oh no, they're right there. Yeah. So Swoggle comes in, but right as Swoggle came in, Suicide got kicked out. Suicide was trying to he tried the sunset flip, not sunset flip, but he was holding on to Cam's legs. That was also on the apron, and then he got baseball slide kick, whatever, baseball slide kicked by Davey Richards. So yeah, and then after that, there was the no chop. Sorry, I'm saying this completely out of order. My bad. No notes today, guys. No notes today. So yeah, and after Eddie Edwards in at number 6 charges for Davey, and they both eliminate each other in the matter of 10 seconds. They start fighting each other to the back, and yeah, then we go to break. Coming back from break, Josh Matthews and JB are right there saying that at Slammiversary, July 2nd, it's been official. Angelina Love and Davey Richards versus Alicia Edwards and Eddie Edwards in a Full Metal Mayhem match. So that was I'll talk about it a bit later, but I found it was a bit lackluster announcing it like that. It should have been more. But anyways, back to the actual match. So Rockstar Spud's in next at number 7, and he starts beating down. He starts getting beaten down by Swoggle, and then they just 4 people left: Spud, Sydal, Cam, and Swoggle. So obviously Spud and Spud gets beat down by Swoggle, and Matt Sydal gets involved. Obviously the two faces going after the heel, which is Spud, and then Sydal and Hornswoggle cheer. Obviously, start cheering together, taunting, going with the audience, you know, and then my mind is dead. And then Congo Kong is in at number 8. And he eliminates Matt Sydal right off the bat, basically. And Spud is tossed over the top rope as well. And Moose is in at number 9. So Moose is a big surprise. Yet again, I just forgot completely who was going to be part of this match. And it made a cool dynamic at this point in the match. Well, I'll get to it in a bit. Hold on. And then I'm all over the place, guys. I'm so sorry. Hopefully you guys can follow. I'm probably talking way too fast, too. I have a habit of doing that. Regardless, so yeah, Congo Kong is in at 8, Moose is in at 9, then Spud is on the outside of the ring, eliminated, right? And Swoggle was on the apron, trying to hold on as Congo Kong was trying to push him off, and then Rockstar Spud just grabbed his legs and threw him off the apron, and Hornswoggle is eliminated as well. And then Moose gets eliminated right away. Like, he didn't last that long in the match. He gets eliminated. But before that, after Hornswoggle got eliminated, I just want to talk on that part. It kind of lasted a while. Hornswoggle wasn't too big of a thing in the match. So at that point with the KM, Congo Kong, and Moose is like 3 big guys in a battle royale. It actually made sense. Like, take out the small guys. The big guys are left. They're the harder ones to try and get out. That's why they lasted till the end, and they're just beating the hell out of each other. So I like that part of the match where it went from small dudes to big dudes. It made it look a lot more realistic. And then number 10 is Mahabali Shera, and his dad is in the front row, of course. So Kong tries to go after Shera, but then Kong gets eliminated by Shera. Just gets chucked over the top rope. Not that big of a deal. And now it's on to a one-on-one match between KM and Mahabali Shera. KM takes control, obviously. He hits a big splash onto Shera. Shera, it's only for a 2 count though. Shera takes an AA, hits an AA on KM. Then takes a breather. He's about to hit his big sky high, but the sky high is blocked by KM. KM tries to turn it into a submission move, but then Shera manages to clinch back into the sky high and slam him down for the pin. So I'll give this match a lukewarm. Personally, battle royales obviously have always been the most usually are used for pointless stuff like this. I get what they're trying to do here. Sony 6, they did this for Sony 6 just to promote them and to make this tour feel important because of Sony 6 and all that, which I understand completely. But the cup itself won't mean anything. Gives a good win to Shera. It's a big feel match, so at least it elevates Shera in that way, and especially winning in his home country. This was his to win from the get-go. But this also brings the match down since it was quite predictable. Like, I remember from the graphic, I was like, oh, Shera's in this. Guaranteed victory. This is his match to win. Sony 6 Invitational Gauntlet. He's not in any other storyline right now. And fans would not really like it if he won the championship. So this is the best they got for him. And it works, I guess, since it's kind of good enough, but not that important. You know what I mean? The wrestling itself was better than usual for Battle Royale matches. Battle Royale matches are never going to be 5 stars. You guys should know that. Everyone knows that. It's not going to be 5-star classic, but it was better. But it took a big chunk of the show, and it was like, okay, big deal now. They're not going to do anything with it. And then, what's his name again? SN Singh, I think his name was, comes out. He's the CEO, I guess you could say, or the big boss of Sony 6. He comes out with Bruce Pritchard and a few other officials from Impact to give the trophy to Mahabali Shera. So that was another really cool moment. It made it feel big that the big boss from Sony 6 was there to give it to him. So it looked really nice. After that, we get another video from Sanjay Dutt for the X Division title later tonight. Those 2 videos, like the one that was at the beginning of the show and this one now, were both excellent. Like, it just made the match feel so important and made you really want to root for Sanjay Dutt, who was the big babyface in this match. So it was really, really good. After that, Impact actually do something that fans have been wanting for a hell of a long time. They're finally promoting big people that are going to show up to shows later on. Like, who I'm talking about is D'Angelo Williams, a big NFL player. I don't watch NFL, so I don't know who he is, but supposedly he's somewhat of a big deal, and he will be debuting at Slammiversary, guys. They actually promoted it. They said that ESPN was covering it, the NFL Center was covering it, TSN was covering it, a bunch of things. That's what they have to do. They need to look. Lots of people have been telling TNA. Wow, I'm saying TNA all the time now. Impact to do that, to make all the focus on them and like share these articles with us, like on their social media page, share articles from other people like ESPN, so they get some traffic from over there. So it makes it feel like a big deal. Might as well, since we're talking about Slammiversary, also during the week, they announced that Don West and Michael Flores, I think his name is, or Michael Flores, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, are going to be calling Slammiversary. So we don't know what's happening with the Pope. JB and Josh are in a match, obviously, but that's going to be really cool. Just a side note, Don West, I always loved him on commentary, especially when he was with Mike Tenay. Supposedly they tried to get Mike Tenay back, but obviously Mike has said numerous times he just doesn't want to return. He has no ill will with the company. He doesn't hate Impact. He just not interested in returning to wrestling. And then Michael Flores, he's a big, I think he was baseball and then a football commentator, I think. So supposedly he's a big wrestling fan, so we'll see if he's good or not. Maybe he could be a long-term commentary dude for Impact. Who knows? And after that, we see Joseph Park and JB, obviously another, not skip, but like segment. They're heading to a kung fu studio to train. They're saying they're going to train for the tag team match. But Joseph Park gets lost, and they end up at a Chinese buffet, and they're like, you know what? Let's go in anyways. And they go eat, and then they come out like, oh wow, we regret this. We regret this. After that, we cut to LAX saying that they're gonna go to other promotions to beat everyone down, win their titles, and they said that they don't have to go to India to prove that they're the best. So this is a lot of deja vu from the Hardys. They even use the same, like, not graphic style, but the same montage style, like, where it showed, like, next week, and it showed them going to that promotion, and it was, like, the same font and everything, almost. Just the music in the back was different. So it was basically just the Hardys all over again. It was quite weird. But now, we cut to in-ring segment now. So, for those who don't know, I don't review these. I don't give a rating for those smaller segments that happen between matches and in-ring talking. It's only the in-ring talking and matches that I give a rating for. But the smaller 30-second segments do count in the overall global score at the end. So yeah, so here's EC3. EC3's music hits, and I knew it was different. I'm like, wait, what? I listened to it again, and then yeah, it is different. Different music. It's now E-Sing3. So Sting is obviously the last name of the big Sony 6 boss. That's where he took it from. But now he's E-Sing3, and he comes out with the typical, I would say stereotypical, I guess, Indian clothing, I guess you could say. And he comes out with a man. We find out that this man in the suit is his translator, and he talks about how his great grandfather was of Indian descent. EC3's like, or E-Sing3, my bad. He's like, I always loved India. India's full of culture. It's so rich. He's like, rich like me. And out there, he's like, who am I kidding? He's like, you guys are third world countries. Like, and he just keeps roasting them and roasting them. He had some pretty good ones in there, but I can't remember them. Wow, that's stupid. I can't even remember the good ones. But it was really solid mic work from EC3 as always. And at the end, he's like, what does he say? Oh yeah, he says that he's better than the 1.3 billion people that live in India. And then he's like, he tells the translator to translate it, and the translator's like, no man, no. And the commentators not hype it up, but they're like, Indians are have lots of pride in their country, I guess. And then EC3's like, oh, okay. And then he beats him down, kicks him in the chest. He falls down the translator falls down to his knees, and he beats him with the mic. Then he reaches into his baggy shirt, I guess, and he pulls out the strap. He starts beating on the translator, but then James Storm's music hits. James Storm comes out and comes in for the save. Basically, chases kicks the strap out of EC3's hand, grabs it, and then chases EC3, but EC3 runs away backstage. And that ends the segment. So obviously, I'll give this a hot. I really like this feud as many others do. It's just it's something very new. James Storm versus EC3 that they haven't done yet. It's a shame that they've brought it away from the World Championships scene. The way I would have liked it, as many of you guys from ImpactAsylum would have liked it too. We were hoping for like a big multi-man main event from these guys, where there's these interpersonal feuds would all develop in the same match, but for the championship as well. I don't know how to explain it, but like, lots of people wanted the King of Mountain match. I just wanted a ladder match. It would have been just the same, or just the elimination match could have worked just as well too. But with all these interpersonal feuds heating this whole thing up. So after we cut back to another segment, it's Spud and Swoggle getting in an argument at catering. So they talked about it a bit earlier in the episode, but now we see it now. Spud basically just says to Swoggle to buzz off, stop talking to him. And then he says, I hate small people. And then Swoggle gets all mad, gets up onto the table and starts beating on him basically, and chases him around. So nothing much to talk about there. So now we cut to Josh Matthews. He's not actually in a suit this today. He was in his clothes, just like t-shirt and shorts. His hands are strapped up because he's ready for his sparring session. He says that he picked a really important guy today. He said that he's ready to prove that he's the best because he's ready to beat JB and Joseph Parks' ass basically. He says that his opponent tonight is an Olympic wrestler, a Bollywood star, a cricket champion. He's saying all these things, and then the guy comes out and he's just a little small, chubby dude. His name is Sandik Dekan, I think it was. It was weird. I have no idea how to write it, but he's basically just probably someone brought in from the India wrestling school. So basically, Josh is like, you know what? Let's fight, and he fights. So Josh hits an arm drag, brings him down, but the Khan, I keep forgetting his name. The Khan gets right back up, hits a good drop kick. It was actually really nice. But then he gets kneed in the face right afterwards. And then Josh goes back up to the top rope, hits a good swanton bomb. I was like, wow, that was actually good. I thought that when he went on top of the top rope, he hit like something really bad, like just a punch, like people that jump off the top rope with those punches. And I'm like, but no, he actually hit a swanton bomb like he was saying he would. I was like, whoa. When I saw that, I'm like, wasn't expecting that, but it was actually okay. It was actually a good one. And then he hits the Steiner recliner as it was pretty obvious that he was going to do that. Hits the Steiner recliner and gets the submission on Dekan for the win. But after the bell rings, Josh Matthews keeps it in. He holds it, cinches it, keeps holding it on. Dekan was no selling it though. He was just there. It was pretty stupid. But Cher comes out after the match, and he comes in for the save, and I'm like, I kind of get it, but at the same time I don't. Why does Cher come out? I guess Cher comes out because it's just an Indian. The guy was Indian, like Rupal's friends, like sticking out for other people in my nationality. That's the big thing they're going for with Cher, I guess, is he's the big hero. So it kind of worked in that sense, but at the same time, he's not part of the storyline whatsoever. He comes in for the save, tries to pulls Josh Matthews off. Josh Matthews is like, okay, fine, I'm sorry. He goes on his knees, starts kissing his boots, basically. And as Cher turns around to leave, Josh swings at him, but Cher catches it. Brings him up on his shoulders, about to hit an AA on Josh, but Josh slips off, and Lashley comes in for the save. Yet again, another weird one. I kind of see it. They've hinted to Lashley and Josh being friends in the past, as a few weeks ago, Josh did come out with Lashley. I don't remember what episode that was on, but if you guys all watch probably Impact at ImpactAsylum, if you're on ImpactAsylum, you probably do. So yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. That week where he came out with Lashley and said that he's the walking Armageddon and he's big time for Lashley. So it kind of makes sense in that regard. So he comes out for the save. Then Josh puts Mahabali Share in another recliner. But then Alberto Albertron comes out for the save. And Josh Matthews and Lashley run off backstage. So it was quite weird. This whole segment, I don't know. I'll give it a lukewarm, really. Yet again, it's right there in the middle. There's a few things wrong with it, like it was quite questionable why Lashley and Mahabali Share came out. You have to go really far-fetched with your ideas to really see the reasoning behind why they came out for the save. But anyways, besides that, the sparring session itself was pretty okay. They would have to do. It makes Josh Matthews seem like he's big and bad, and that Swanton bomb was actually like, I'm still surprised by that. When he hit that, I was like, whoa. So yeah, we go back to JB and Joseph Parks. They're basically back at the office, I think, at the Impact office, and Joseph Parks is playing with a Scott Steiner and what was the other figure? Magnus. So and he's like Magnus and Scott Steiner were arguing together, replicating their tag team match they're going to have at Slammiversary. And JB's like, I had enough. What the hell are you doing? He's like, I thought we were here to watch some videos of Scott Steiner so we can prepare ourselves. And then, and after, oh no, wait, hold on. They don't actually, yeah, he says that, and then they're like, okay, fine, we'll start. And then they start watching Steiner's promos. For those that don't know, if you guys don't know, I'm pretty sure all of you guys at Impact Asylum know. But Scott Steiner's promos are just on a whole other level. It's just they're a guilty pleasure for all pro wrestling fans just to listen to. I know it's my guilty pleasure. He's nowhere good, guys. Don't get me wrong. These promos are not good. It's just a guilty pleasure for all of us to listen to. And after Park says the funniest line in the world, he's like, "How did this guy ever get over? His promos suck." And I'm like, that killed me. It's just gold there. And then they click on another. They don't click on a video, but another video shows up, and it's just a highlight montage of his fights throughout the time in TNA. And then they get a phone call, and they're like, oh crap, it's Steiner. You answer. No, you answer. And the segment ends like that. So overall, that one was good as well. I'll talk about them all later, but this JB and Joseph Park segments have been just overall enjoyable, and they make you want to root for Joseph Parks and JB. Now it's on to the next match here, guys, as Trevor Lee takes on Braxton Sutter. So right as the bell rings, Lee jumps Sutter from behind, cheap shot. Sutter falls out to the floor. Sutter manages to get back into the ring. Then Trevor Lee controls for a bit. Braxton Sutter takes back control. Hits a power slam. Then I think it was a neck breaker. Yeah, I think it was a neck breaker. And he gets the pin. This match happened in, I fair to guess, less than 2 minutes probably. I am not sure, but it was very short, very random. I'll give it a cold because of that. It's cold because they gave Braxton Sutter a win at the expense of Trevor Lee, which I do not like whatsoever. Trevor Lee and Braxton Sutter should both be pushed right now. I get that TNA doesn't have all its roster. I keep saying TNA, guys, I'm sorry, but Impact. I know Impact doesn't have its whole roster over in India, but like Trevor Lee's just falling down a totem pole when he shouldn't be. I get that Braxton Sutter had to get a win here to keep his credibility going, his momentum, but it wasn't really. It was just there. But after the match, Sienna and Laurel Van Ness come out. Sienna makes fun of Braxton Sutter for wearing his hat, even though it's like 50 degrees outside Celsius. I don't know how that is in Fahrenheit because I don't live in America. And I think America is the only country that uses Fahrenheit. But anyways, so yeah, she comes out and she says that, Ali, you want to be a wrestler? Fine, then prove you're a wrestler. Next week, you and your little friend Rosemary versus me and Laurel Van Ness in a tag team match. So that's a match we're having next week. Also, I forgot to announce. Was it? I think it was during the Josh Matthews versus the Khan match too. They announced that next week James Storm and Alberto Alpatron would be taking on Lashley and EC3 in a tag match as well. So anyways, that post-match segment helped that whole match out lots. Even though it's not part of the match, that's why I don't count it in the rating. It just made the whole thing feel better. It made it look better. Made it feel like there's a purpose to the thing. They could have easily just done that without the match beforehand. But anyways. Moose comes out. Now it's time for a Moose segment. Moose comes out to the ring. He starts to talk, but right away Eli Drake and Adonis come out to stop him from talking, like basically right away. Drake says that, welcome to India. He's like, I love India. And then everyone starts booing him. He's like, shh, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to me. One of his obvious catchphrases that he uses often. Moose says he wants to fight them both at Slammiversary and he wants to beat them down both. But then they get Adonis and Eli go into the ring and Moose beats them down pretty easily. And then Moose says that we'll find out his partner next week. And obviously, it's clear as day who it is. I don't know why they're making a 7-day wait for it. We all know it's D'Angelo Williams. It's gonna be cool to see if they're having a tag match at. It looks like they're going for a tag match at Slammiversary, but does that mean the Grand Championship's gonna be on the line? Probably not. But that's gonna be one championship off the card, and I'm not a fan of. I think pay-per-views always deserve to have all the championships on the card. Obviously, not if there's no point to it if it's just gonna be a multi-man match and no story behind it, especially like with those X Division matches we had in the past. But something like this, I get they shouldn't have never got Adonis involved with Eli Drake, and Eli Drake should have just had his one-on-one match against Moose. But anyways, so we cut back to JB and Park. They're in the office. They finally decided to answer the call, and I don't know if it was just my TV or my volume, I don't know, but I just really couldn't hear what the hell Steiner was saying. He said something about corn on the cob and going to hell. It's kind of sad I didn't hear it. Scott Steiner's promos are just creme of the crop for just like getting a quick chuckle out of. So it's a shame that I missed out on it, but it was stupid. And then after Joseph Parks and Jeremy Borash run off, and Steiner's like, "Hey, get back here, I'm not done talking," and the segment ends. So overall, I love the way, I said this last week, but I love the way how Impact basically saved their ass. Basically us as fans basically spanked Impact for saying for making them do this storyline that was about announcers, and they're always bickering, and now they turned it around into a way that's more livable. They're making it more into a comedy thing, especially on JB and Joseph Parks' behalf, but we were expecting that from those characters. And then Josh Matthews and Scott Steiner being the huge heels, bad guys, and they stopped the bickering on commentary, or there's very little of it now because of the rule that Bruce Pritchard made last week, that they weren't allowed to touch each other or get into an argument at all. So yeah, after that, time for the main event actually here, as Sanjay Dutt takes on Low Ki for the X Division. So this is a match where I would have loved that my notes would have actually worked, but no, the power went out right after that Braxton Sutter and Trevor Lee match. So, I should have taken notes, but like at that point I was just like, not mad. I was mad. I guess I was like annoyed. I was like, crap, I don't want to restart over. I didn't feel like taking notes anymore. I was like, Jesus, forget it. The power outage just destroyed everything. So I didn't take too many notes here. I don't remember most of the match. I'll go over the main parts. If you guys are watching this, you guys probably have seen the show, so I don't think it doesn't really matter. There's no use for me going play by play, like move for move, what happened during the match. But basically, they start off. Sanjay Dutt gets his eye patch ripped off basically right off the bat. You see his bad eye. He starts clenching his bad eye because he got kicked in the face already. The commentators build it up as like, whoa, was he ready to return to the ring so soon? Like, he should have took more time off. So the big story in this is that he's the big underdog trying to push up from his injury, which makes sense. Low Ki's injury, I guess, should have been a blade job, I suppose, because in the match you could see that he actually had a bruising and an actual cut. So I don't know if that's just like makeup effect or whatnot, or maybe he actually did blade himself last week, because I doubt that injury was actually like legit. Like, it wasn't. I don't think it was a freak accident, because that would have been way too perfect to fit in with the storyline, like an eye for an eye. It was way too perfect. But that's why I think it's a blade job, or unless maybe it was just paint and then he did it to himself afterwards for the effect. Who knows? But that would be a bit weird. So yeah, they fight into the crowd. They come back in. Lots of back and forth between Low Ki and Sanjay. Sanjay trying to hold his eye. At one point, Low Ki starts bleeding again from his eye because of his injury that was on his eye already. And then out of nowhere, out of nowhere, yeah. I'm so mind blanking right now, guys. I'm so sorry. But yeah, out of nowhere, Sanjay Dutt hits a tornado DDT and hits a top rope splash, and that gives the title to Sanjay Dutt. So I really like the commentary after the match. The commentary were really, especially not Joseph Parks. Oh my god, I'm so bad right now, guys. I'm sorry. But anyways, so yeah, JB was really hyping it up, like saying congratulations, he won it after 15 years. The greatest X Division wrestler to never win a championship, to never win the X Division championship, finally has it. So they're making it a huge deal, and they made this match feel like a huge deal because they've actually promoted it for a week at least, and they had these cute, cool video packages throughout the night to promote it as well. So then after that, all the face wrestlers basically came out, started celebrating with Sanjay Dutt, and then Shera puts Sanjay on his shoulders, and they celebrate even more because Sanjay is from India as well, so he was doing it for the Indian population as well, doing it for them, doing it for the fans, basically the big stereotypical babyface thing. And I'll give this match definitely not boiling or burning, just a bit over hot. It was very, very good. This was way better than the Adonis versus Alberto El Patron match. It was just very, very well done from start to finish. It was lots of back and forth. The ending was a bit out of nowhere and anticlimactic, but besides that, everything else made it look and feel like a big fight feel, and delivered on that level. So like I said, way better than last week's main event. So hopefully they keep going in this right direction, because they've been delivering a lot of good main event matches lately in Impact. So overall, this show, I will give it something over a lukewarm, something between lukewarm and hot. Crap, I completely forgot to tell you guys my scale at the beginning of the episode for those new viewers. Oh well, I'll do that next episode. I'll remind myself, hopefully. But anyways, I'll put it between lukewarm and hot. The Sony 6 Invitational Gauntlet, I understand its purpose. The cup is not going to be much prestige to Shera, and it sucks that it took up quite a bit of the show just for that. As we know, it's not going to go anywhere. But it served its purpose. It was good. Everything else was quite good. They kept going with all these storylines. But one thing that I hated was that they advanced more of the comedy than the serious storylines. We got a random Full Metal Mayhem match out of nowhere when we could have had a backstage segment of like Eddie Edwards and David Richards hitting each other with, I don't know, like chairs and ladders, stuff like that, to make it a Full Metal Mayhem match, because Full Metal Mayhem is basically a TLC match. So it would make sense if they did something like that instead of having the stupid Swoggle catering segment for no reason. So besides that, good show. I just hope they would push the serious stuff more than the comedy stuff. The comedy stuff doesn't have to be a big deal. I don't know why they're making Rockstar Spud and Hornswoggle a big deal. It was just really stupid. So yeah, I think that's all for this episode of Hot Fire, guys. I'm so sorry. Yet again, another week basically where I didn't do too well because of circumstances. Last week I was sick. This week I'm better, not like last week, but this week was the power outage. It really hurt everything. So I was just going off of top of mind things and a bit of notes from here and there that I found online. But yeah, thank you all for those who listened this far in this episode of Hot Fire. My name's Fireguy. Please, if you have any points to discuss, do it in the comments down below. I want to start up lots of discussion down in the comments. So please do. If you have any comments, say about my opinion of things, if you have a different opinion about a match, if you think it was better, if you think it was worse, I'm up to anything. Just go in the comments, discuss. I just want to start a big discussion in the comments. So thank you all for watching. Like I already said, my name's Fireguy, and I'll see you in the next episode of Hot Fire.